Arriving in the northwest for the final few days of campaigning ahead of elections on Thursday that could prove very consequential for our politics. So it's a big set of elections this week. We've got local elections, mayoral elections and the Runcorn by-election. That is a big Labour-held seat. Keir Starmer's Labour won the landslide back in July in the general election, but since then they have been sliding in the polls. This is the first big test to see if voters will press the change button again, and this time on Starmer's government, with Reform and Nigel Farage snapping at their heels. The PM visiting a health centre in Lancashire to announce the first freeze on prescription charges in 3 years in the hope it will win over voters. But today, the Prime Minister ambushed by pro-Palestinian protesters in footage we didn't see until after the event. The heckling a nod to wider disquiet. Prime Minister, it's the first big ballot box test for you since the general election when you won that landslide on the change message. But this Thursday could be pretty different. Your polling is bad. You're on the ropes at the Runcorn by-election. You're not the change?
We've got a really positive case to put to the electorate at the elections this Thursday. Record investment in the NHS, waiting lists coming down, investment in other public services. Of course, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be tough. Most governments after a general election face a tough set of local elections.
Boris Johnson did quite well in 2021, didn't he?
Well, 2021 was, we were in the middle of COVID and a vaccine was coming down the track, and I think we all remember what that was like.
NHS, better story to tell. You've put loads of funding in, the waiting lists are coming down, and that's clearly what you want to highlight. But the immigration record of your government is shocking. The number of illegal migrants crossing the Channel in small boats is set to pass 10,000 potentially today, and Reform are going to absolutely smash you up on it, aren't they?
The last government lost control of our borders. We have to now take the necessary steps. But also what we've done is to put an intense focus on removing people who've no right to be in this country.
Are you more worried about Reform than the Conservatives?
At the end of the day, Reform and the Tories, there's all this talk about them getting together and merging. I mean, if you're a Tory voter who doesn't want a pro-Russia foreign policy, how does a merger with Reform work for you? If you're a Reform voter that thinks the Tories failed for 14 years, how does a merger or coalition with the Tories work for you? Both sets of voters are being conned.
A PM as concerned about Reform as his old adversaries, the Conservatives, in a set of elections where the smaller parties are tipped to thrive. This, a flying visit to the northwest. We caught up with him again on his way back to London. You said there just now about voters feeling conned by Reform and the Conservatives, but when I think about the last election, they voted for change, they chose you, and now they're feeling conned by you. Do you
look at the change that we offered. We said we would change the NHS by fixing it and making it fit for the future. Well, we're getting on with that. We're making that change.
The person you started talking about was Nigel Farage. You're really competitive. Do you hate the thought of losing to him?
I hate the thought of losing to anyone. You know that, whether that's politics or anything else. But what I think is important is the choice is clear. I mean, we've made our case, our positive case. I know
Runcorn
that.
by-election, do you think you're going to lose
tough.
it?
It's going to be tough.
You're going to reset if you lose it? Cabinet reshuffle, or you just crack on?
We are getting on with a really good campaign, really good candidates, and we've got to fight for every vote.
A third of voters in England eligible to cast their ballots on Thursday, and politicians will be crisscrossing the country all week to win support. This may be a relatively small set of elections, but they really do matter. It will be the first ballot box test for Kemi Badenoch as Conservative leader, and the moment when we see whether Reform's positive polling can turn into real power. And for Starmer, well, this is voters' first verdict on his government. But the elections are more than just about the ups and downs of individual leaders. It will also give us a sense about whether the two-party system, battered in the general election, really is on its last legs. The vast majority of council seats up for grabs this time around are Conservative held, but eyes very much on the PM too, with voters seemingly losing faith that he is the change. Beth Rigby, Sky News.